Today's iPhone leak is all about one thing: RAM. And if the latest report is accurate, Apple is quietly upgrading memory across the iPhone 18 lineup to keep Apple Intelligence running smoothly, while still keeping the biggest AI upgrades exclusive to the Pro models. And this matters more than ever, because the iPhone is no longer just about cameras, displays, and design. Apple is pushing hard into on-device AI, and the more AI you run locally, the more your phone depends on fast, reliable memory. RAM isn't a spec you feel on day one, but it's exactly the kind of upgrade that decides whether your phone stays smooth 2 or 3 years from now, especially when iOS updates keep adding heavier features. According to well-known supply chain analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, the standard iPhone 18 and the budget-friendly iPhone 18e will reportedly ship with 9 GB of RAM. That's a bump from the 8 GB found in the iPhone 17 and iPhone 17e, and while 1 GB might sound small, it can make a real difference when you're running on-device AI features that need fast, consistent memory access. Think of it like this: Apple Intelligence isn't just one feature, it's a whole collection of tools running across the system. Summaries, writing tools, smart suggestions, background processing, photo analysis, voice processing. These things don't behave like a normal app that opens and closes. They sit deeper in the OS, and they often need memory available instantly. That's why even a 1 GB increase can help stability, reduce reloads, and keep performance consistent during multitasking. Kuo's key point is simple. This RAM increase is designed to keep Apple Intelligence features running smoothly on the lower-end models. Apple is clearly planning for AI to be a core part of the iPhone experience going forward, and RAM is one of the biggest requirements for that. And from Apple's perspective, this is a smart move. If Apple wants to market Apple Intelligence as a reason to upgrade, then the regular iPhones can't feel like they're struggling. Giving the iPhone 18 and iPhone 18e 9 GB is a way to protect the experience, not necessarily to win a spec war. Now here's where things get interesting. The higher-end models aren't changing, at least not in the way some people expected. Kuo claims the iPhone 18 Pro, iPhone 18 Pro Max, and a foldable model being referred to as the iPhone Ultra will all stick with 12 GB of RAM, matching the iPhone 17 Pro models, so no jump to 14 GB or 16 GB, at least in this particular leak. Instead, Apple seems to be holding the line. 12 GB stays the Pro standard, and that likely means Apple sees 12 GB as the current threshold for its most demanding on-device AI workloads. And don't ignore the foldable mention here. A foldable iPhone Ultra would likely be positioned as the most premium iPhone Apple sells, and if it's also at 12 GB, that tells you Apple thinks 12 GB is enough headroom for the next generation of features, at least for now. So if you're wondering what Apple's strategy looks like, it's basically this. The base models get a small but meaningful RAM boost to stay capable with Apple Intelligence, while the Pro models keep the larger 12 GB ceiling for the most advanced on-device AI features. In other words, Apple may be shaping the lineup into 2 clear AI tiers. Tier 1, iPhone 18 and iPhone 18e, Apple Intelligence, but with some limits. Tier 2, Pro models and Ultra, Apple Intelligence at full power, including the most advanced on-device model. And yes, there's a catch. Even with 9 GB of RAM, the iPhone 18 and iPhone 18e are still expected to miss out on 2 upcoming Apple Intelligence features in iOS 27. The report says these features require Apple's most advanced on-device Apple Intelligence model, and that model reportedly needs at least 12 GB of RAM. This is the part that will frustrate a lot of people, because it means Apple isn't just splitting features by Pro branding, it's splitting them by memory capacity. Apple can easily say, it's not artificial limitation, it's hardware requirements. And technically, they may be right if the model truly needs that extra memory to run smoothly on-device. The 2 features said to be restricted to 12 GB iPhones are, first, the ability to customize Siri's voice expressiveness and speaking pace, basically making Siri sound more natural and adjustable to your preference. Second, a major boost in speech-to-text dictation, accuracy, likely a significant improvement for typing by voice across the system. Let's unpack why these 2 features would need more RAM Siri voice. Expressiveness and pace changes likely mean a more advanced voice model that can generate more natural speech. patterns in real time. That's not just playing back pre-recorded voices, it's closer to dynamic voice generation, which is heavier, and the dictation accuracy boost suggests a larger or more capable speech recognition model. Better accuracy usually comes from models that can handle more context and process language more intelligently, which again pushes memory requirements up. So even though Apple may market Apple Intelligence across the lineup, the most powerful Siri upgrades and dictation improvements could remain Pro only, simply because of hardware limits. And this is exactly how Apple creates separation without talking about it too directly. They don't have to say Pro only, they can just say, requires advanced on-device model. And the advanced model happens to require 12 GB. Let's lay out the RAM situation. Clearly, confirmed RAM for the iPhone 17 lineup. iPhone 17. 8 GB iPhone 17. 8 GB iPhone 17. Pro, 12 GB iPhone 17. Pro Max, 12 GB, so the iPhone 17 generation already has a big split. 8 GB on the regular models, 12 GB on the Pro models. That's not a small difference, it's a huge gap. And it already tells you Apple is prioritizing memory for Pro-level features. Now look at the rumored iPhone 18 lineup. Rumored RAM amounts for the iPhone 18 series and iPhone Ultra iPhone 18e, 9 GB iPhone 18, 9 GB iPhone 18 Pro, 12 GB iPhone 18 Pro, Max 12 GB iPhone, Ultra 12 GB. So the base models move from 8 GB to 9 GB, while Pro models stay at 12 GB. That keeps the gap alive, but it slightly improves the baseline. There's also a second-generation iPhone Air mentioned in the leak, and it's expected to land at 12 GB as well, though that part is more of an assumption based on Apple's direction with AI features. If the iPhone Air truly becomes a thin and light but premium iPhone, then 12 GB would make sense. Apple would likely want it to feel premium in performance, not just design. And in the Apple Intelligence era, premium performance basically means enough RAM to run the best AI model. Now let's talk timeline, because Apple's release schedule is also shifting, at least according to this same wave of reporting. The iPhone 18 Pro, iPhone 18 Pro Max, and the foldable iPhone Ultra are expected to launch in September this year. Meanwhile, the standard iPhone 18, iPhone 18e, and the second-gen iPhone Air are reportedly being pushed to around March 2027. If that's true, it would be one of the biggest changes to Apple's iPhone launch strategy in years. Apple typically drops the entire flagship family in September, which creates one massive hype cycle and one massive buying season. But splitting launches could let Apple dominate the conversation twice, once in the fall with the Pro models, then again in the spring with the standard models. It could also help Apple manage supply. If RAM and storage components are tight and manufacturing is expensive, spreading launches out might reduce pressure and allow Apple to prioritize the higher margin devices first. That would be a major change from Apple's usual pattern of launching the entire flagship lineup in September. If this leak holds up, Apple is essentially splitting the iPhone launches into 2 seasons, Pro in the fall, standard models in the spring. Now we have to talk about the price angle, because that could be the story that actually hits buyers the hardest. RAM and NAND storage chips are reportedly expensive right now due to a supply shortage, resulting in Apple raising prices on more than a dozen products recently. For now, iPhones avoided price increases, but analysts have estimated that the iPhone 18 and iPhone 18 could cost $100 to $200 more than the iPhone 17 and iPhone 17e. And that's where this leak becomes very real. Because if Apple raises the price of the entry iPhone, then the iPhone upgrade decision changes for a lot of people. A $100-$200 jump might push buyers to either hold on to their current phone longer, buy an older model, or consider spending a little more and jumping to a Pro model, especially if the Pro models are the ones getting the best Apple Intelligence features anyway. So if you were hoping for a cheap entry iPhone with Apple Intelligence features, you might still get the features, but potentially at a higher price, even if the upgrade is only 1 GB of RAM. And that's the key takeaway. Apple can justify the increase by saying it's about future-proofing, AI and better performance, but in the end, consumers will look at the numbers and ask why they're paying more for what seems like a small spec bump. Bottom line, the iPhone 18 and iPhone 18e are shaping up to be smarter and more AI-ready than the iPhone 17 generation thanks to 9 GB of RAM But Apple may continue using 12GDI as the line that separates basic Apple Intelligence from the most advanced on-device Siri and dictation upgrades. And if the pricing rumors are true, then the iPhone 18 story won't just be about more RAM, it'll be about how much Apple expects you to pay to access the full Apple Intelligence experience.